ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद द्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, teachings of Queen Kunti, chapter 25, continued. The Mayavadi sannyasis renounce this world. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. It is very good to preach renunciation of the world, but side by side we must have attraction for something. Otherwise, our renunciation will not remain. We see many Mayavadi sannyasis who say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, but after they take sannyas, they return to the material world to open hospitals and do philanthropic work. Why? If they have left this world considering it mithya, false, why do they return to take up politics, philanthropy, and sociology? Actually, this is bound to happen, for we are living entities and are active. If out of frustration we try to become inactive, we shall fail in our attempt. We must engage in activities. So, attraction and activities. We need both. If you are having simply activities without attraction, then also it will not sustain. Sometimes devotees think that seva, seva, seva. Yeah, seva is good, but without actually developing an understanding of Krishna consciousness, without hearing, if we simply engage in just seva, then when it gets tough, when going gets tough, um, so some devotees just they move away from ISKCON. They lose faith in Krishna. They'll say Krishna didn't do anything. I served him so much. This is the problem with just seva, seva, seva without any shravanam. If there's no hearing, then it won't last. So activities, yes, but attraction based on shravanam. Both are important. The supreme activity, the Brahman activity, is devotional service. Unfortunately, the Mayavadis do not know this. They think that the spiritual world is void. However, the spiritual world is exactly like the material world in that it has varieties. In the spiritual world, there are also houses, trees, roads, chariots. Everything is there, but without the material inebrities. So, Prabhupada is just giving us a simple understanding of spiritual world and saying, yes, there are houses, trees, roads, chariots, everything. Mm. So you can just imagine, right? We are living in a house. How about living in a house in Goloka Vrindavan? Uh, we are walking on the roads. How about walking in Goloka Vrindavan? We have two-wheelers, cars, vehicles, etc. How about whatever vehicles, conveyances in Goloka Vrindavan? Mm. So nice to just think about being there. As described in Brahma Samhita, Chinta Mani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha Laksha Vriteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, yielding all desires in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, and always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of goddesses of fortune or gopis. Sata Sambrama, Sambrama with Sambrama. Sambrama is like festival, and Lakshmi Sahasra Shata, like millions, hundreds of thousands of gopis. Mm. So Krishna is yielding all desires, uh, all desires. Somebody wants to become a pig also, he will provide that. Mm. In the spiritual world, there are kalpa vriksha trees which yield whatever type of fruit we desire. In the material world, a mango tree cannot supply grapes, nor can a grapevine supply mangoes. In the spiritual world, however, if you take a mango from a tree and at the same time desire grapes, the tree will supply them. This is called a desire tree. These are some of the actualities of the spiritual world. In this material world, we require sunlight and moonlight, but in the spiritual world, there is no need of sunlight and moonlight because everything and everyone is effulgent. Everything and everyone is effulgent. But still, see the beauty of Krishna's pastimes. Everything and everyone is effulgent, still there is night. Still there is day, still there is night. Inconceivable, inconceivable. In Krishna Leela, see, you should understand, everyone is effulgent means like, then if we switch off the light, then there will be a glow. Then how can we sleep? But there won't be any glow. So they're effulgent, but it's the inconceivable nature of the spiritual world. In Krishna Leela, Krishna stole butter and the neighborhood friends of Mother Yashoda complained. Actually, they were not complaining, but they were just enjoying the bodily features and the fun of Krishna. They told Mother Yashoda, your son comes to our house and steals butter. We try to conceal it in the dark so that he cannot see it, but somehow he finds it out. You'd better take away all his ornaments because we think that the light of his jewels helps him find the butter pot. Mother Yashoda has replied, yes, I will take off all his ornaments. But the neighbors would reply, no, 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 it is useless. Somehow this boy has an effulgence that comes out of himself. He can find the better butter even without the ornaments. Thus, the transcendental body is effulgent. And also, gopis did not want all those ornaments to be taken off because Krishna was so beautiful with all those ornaments. Mm. It is because of the effulgence of Krishna's transcendental body that there is light. Whatever light we see is simply borrowed light from Krishna's effulgence. See, we can be so simply Krishna conscious. Everybody likes it when it is a day. So when there is light, we can just simply think that, this is just coming from the body of Krishna, Krishna consciousness. As stated in Brahma Samhita, yasyas prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti kotishvashesha vasudhadi vibhuti binnam tad brahma nishkalam ananta asheshat bhutam govindamadi purusham tamaham vadami. In the millions and millions of universes, there are innumerable planets, and each of them is different from the others by its cosmic constitution. All of these planets are situated within the spiritual effulgence called the Brahma Jyotir. This Brahma Jyotir is the bodily effulgence of the Supreme Person of Godhead, whom I worship. Yasya Prabha Prabhavato. So it's clearly saying that this is the effulgence coming from the body of Krishna. The bodily effulgence of Krishna generates millions of universes. In this solar system, the sun produces many planets. And because of the sunshine, the planets are warm and the seasons change. This I don't understand what this means. Sun produces many planets. Because of the sun, there are trees, green foliage, fruits, and flowers. Similarly, whatever we see in creation is all due to Krishna's bodily effulgence. So this is because the bodily effulgence generates millions of universes because actually the universes are all present in the Brahma Jyoti. So that way, and um, that so Brahman is the source of all creation, right? Brahman is actually the source of all creation. So that is why it is said that Brahman generates millions of universes. But this statement I don't understand. The sun produces many planets, so I don't know what that means. If anybody has any understanding, you can help us. And because of sunshine, the planets are warm and the seasons change. Yeah, this we understand, right? But how the sun produces many planets, I'm not very sure. The Mayavadis simply see the effulgence, which is impersonal. They cannot see anything more. We may see an airplane rise in the sky, but after a while it passes out of our sight due to the dazzling sunshine. The airplane is there, but we cannot see it. Similarly, if we simply try to see the effulgent Brahma Jyotir, we are unable to see within it. One of the mantras in the Ishopanishad, therefore, petitions the Lord to wind up his effulgence so that he can be seen properly. Hmm. Uh, what is that verse? Um, hmm. that verse? Hmm, not okay. So yeah, Ishopanishad says that the devotee is praying to the Lord, saying, "Please remove your effulgence and let me see you. I don't want this effulgence to block my vision." So clearly, Ishopanishad is one of the important Upanishads. So that also clearly shows that this Brahma effulgence is actually coming from the body of the Lord and blocks the vision of the Lord, as in blocks the vision of the person. It prevents it from seeing the Lord, prevents the person from seeing the Lord. So then the devotee prays, saying that please wind up your effulgence. Mm. Similarly, philosophers cannot see the personal activities of Krishna, nor the planet where Krishna is personally active. The Bhagavatam says, Aruhya kritrena padam padam pratah padantyado nadrita yushmadangrayaha. Because they do not see the lotus feet of Krishna, they have to return to this material world, despite all their serious penances and austerities. Thus, renunciation in itself will not help us. That is why we talk about Yukta Vairagya, right? Renunciation means Tyaga, meaning sacrifice, and then by that Falgu Vairagya, right? That is by artificially just renouncing things, we cannot actually lose the uh, attraction, right? The taste remains. That's what Prabhupada is saying. We may artificially renounce, but again, we shall become so-called enjoyers. Such renunciation and enjoyment, bhoga tyaga, is like a pendulum that goes this way and that. On one side, we become false renunciants, and on the other, we become false enjoyers. So both are false. Both. So the full our position in this material world is false because on one end, either we are trying to be false enjoyers, which we cannot be. On the other end, we are trying to be false renunciants, which also we cannot be. As in, we are trying to be renunciants, which we cannot be because nothing belongs to us. And even if we renounce, that artificial renouncement, the taste still remains. So we'll again fall down. The remedy, however, is here. If we really want to become detached from this material world, we must increase our attachment to Krishna consciousness. See, this is the core point, which yesterday also I was highlighting. We don't have to focus so much about our detachment from this material world as much as we focus on increasing our attachment for Krishna and Krishna consciousness. Right? But our focus, unfortunately, is more on this. Actually, very few people ask, saying that, how do I increase attachment to Krishna? Most people ask, how do I increase my detachment from this material world? But the actual question should be, how do I increase my attachment for Krishna? How do we increase our attachment for Krishna?
Hare Krishna, bro. Doing seva,
Yeah,
service,
Seva, okay.
hearing.
Yeah, I mean, primarily hearing, but even after hearing, if you're not developing attraction, what should we do? Hmm? What should we do if even after hearing, we are not developing attraction to Krishna?
Association.
Association. Simple. For all problems in in bhakti, the answer is association. We must associate with those devotees who have that attraction. And then when we see them in action, then when we are working with them, then automatically we'll see, oh my God, I mean, this person is really so attached, so attracted to Krishna, and he wants to do everything to please Guru and Krishna. Then then we'll start developing that attitude, right? And when we start developing that attitude, suddenly we'll realize, oh, my material attachment is reducing, is gone. Even without even us noticing it, it will go off. We won't even notice, provided we are actually involved. We are like, we are engaged in such a way that we are completely absorbed. And for that absorption, actually, we have to let ourselves be pulled by devotees. This whole book marathon, the whole process is to actually pull ourselves out of material consciousness. Yesterday we were doing book distribution. at least two devotees who are actually working people and who possibly at that time of the day will be busy with meetings, this, that, and all that. They left their work and came, right? And they were happy to be there and talking to people and distributing books, etc. So if we come continuously, if we just keep, you see, if we let ourselves get drowned in material consciousness, then it's very difficult, right? But we should let ourselves. Let ourselves means free. You should let yourself free. Uh, so if somebody is saying, okay, come, and normally devotees will plan, more realistically saying like, okay, generally say 6:30, can you wind up one day? Yeah, we should say, yes, I'll wind up, right? Devotee said, Prabhu, I came, finished work early today and came. Said, amazing. See, it's possible. Once in a week we can do. Once in 2 weeks we can do. We should do. On a regular basis, we should find pull time out of our office or whatever other things for Krishna in the middle of, like when you're in the middle of things. I mean, this helps actually because it builds it develops. Krishna will give us mercy, when we are trying to do something beyond our comfort zone, outside our comfort zone, or we are taking up some austerity for him. Krishna will be pleased. And when Krishna is pleased, he will give us mercy. And by that mercy, attachment for him will increase. But who will let us, if we are by ourselves, then we are not going to do anything beyond, right? So then we should just be in the association of those devotees who will pull us. That's all. And that is very, very important because see, Shravanam, uh, also the mood of Shravanam is very, very important. When we actually hear perfectly, meaning letting each and every word of Prabhupada said, na, even somebody reads one word in these books, his life will become successful. Right? So if we read properly, if we do read like we have to read, then the reading itself will have an impact. Or if we hear from a pure devotee on a continuous basis, then yeah, it will have its impact. If you're not able to do first two, then you should just work, do service in the association of such devotees, right? Because otherwise, again, like I said, it'll just become activity. Okay, instead of doing some activity somewhere else, I'm doing it here. Of course, it will purify, but it might not give us a strong foundation. Just that seva bhav, right? Without clear understanding. So we should not. I mean, see, for all questions, our answer first should be Shravanam. Shravanam Kirtanam is the foundation for us. Don't jump into Seva without Shravanam Kirtanam, right? In the sense, there is no solution which doesn't encompass Shravanam Kirtanam. So, first is hearing, chanting, and if nothing is working, then obviously the most powerful is association. Even if our Shravanam Kirtanam is also not happening properly, it is association which will solve. If our attraction is not developing, for that also association. So, association is the most powerful. Most powerful. Renunciation alone will not help us. Therefore, Kunti Devi prays, Vai main anya vishaya. By the way, one thing about association, so I want to mention. Association means just not being in the company of devotees. That's not association. Of course, that's association, but that's not the expected association. The expected association is Narada Muni says in Bhagavatam, right? When we are in touch with devotees um, who are more advanced than us, hearing from them, right, and taking their instructions, that is association. And we give the same association to people who are, for whom we are advanced, right? And we give that association to them, right? And we have friendship between peers, meaning who are devotees of the same spiritual caliber, right? Not age or I got initiated in the same year. That's not the criteria. The criteria is spiritual maturity, right? So this similar spiritual maturity, then we become friends, right? But otherwise, either it should be we are guiding somebody, so it's a responsible position, or we are being guided. Uh, we are on the receiving end there. Hmm. Right. So not like I came to the temple, I said Hare Krishna, hi, hello to few people, and that's not association. Most of us actually are not able to distinguish this. Many people say we should not discriminate between devotees. We should discriminate between devotees among devotees because Srila Rupa Goswami has said that Kanishtadikari, Madhyamadikari, Uttamadikari. Narada Muni talks about it. So we should discriminate, but we should not like um, we should discriminate for association or to know how we should behave, right? But not to say someone is higher or somebody is lower, because like I said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said even a person who is chanting Hare Krishna, even chanted Hare Krishna once, is also Vaishnava. So we have to respect everybody, but we might decide not to associate with somebody who is not the right association for us, which is okay, which is perfectly okay. Which is not, and a lot of people are confused saying that is this Vaishnava Aparad. No, it's not Vaishnava Aparad. The discrimination is important, right? And we need to choose our association. And of course, all types of devotees are there, like Kapil Muni says. There are devotees in the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and they will associate with similar other devotees who are on that stage, on that platform. Right. So, and then there are devotees who are on the transcendental platform, and such devotees should associate with transcendental. Those devotees are on the transcendental platform. And yes, of course, we will take guidance from somebody who is advanced, more advanced, right? So, for a person in some mode of ignorance, mode of passion person is more advanced, right? For a person in more doing bhakti in mode of passion, a person doing bhakti in mode of goodness is more advanced. And most advanced for any of them is person who is in the transcendental platform, whose association everybody should seek, right? Therefore, Kunti Devi prays, Tvayi me ananya vishaya. She prays that our attraction be constantly drawn unto Krishna without being diverted to anything else. See, this should be our goal. Our attraction should be constantly drawn, constantly, without break, without break. I mean, can't imagine what this stage will be, right? Constantly, every moment, we are drawn towards Krishna. Such amazing stage it can be. When we are constantly drawn with Krishna, drawn towards Krishna, then we will just simply be blissful, you know. All the time we will be blissful because we are in constant touch with Krishna. Because Krishna is blissful. So anybody who is in touch with him will be blissful. Association. This is bhakti, pure devotional service. See, bhakti is translated as pure devotional service. For as mentioned by Rupa Goswami, devotional service should be unalloyed. Anyabhilashita shunyam gnana karmadhyanavritam. So our shastras don't talk so much about mixed devotion at all. Because mixed devotion is a fallen state. It's not the best state to be in. Doing bhakti with some desires, it's business. But because we are coming to Krishna, it is called bhakti, but it's called Mishra Bhakti. Bhakti means Shuddha Bhakti. Devotional service means pure devotional service. Devotee means pure devotee. Goes without saying. In this material world, there are gnanis and karmis. The karmis are fools who unnecessarily work very hard. Prabhupada is just like chastising. Karmis are fools because they unnecessarily work very hard. And the gnanis are those who, when a little elevated, think, why work so hard? So many things are not required. Why accumulate so much money and food and so much false prestige? The gnani is, yeah, but this is because it is dry renunciation, it will not hold them. But they are asking the right questions, which a karmi cannot even think. The gnani thinks in this way. The bhakta, however, is beyond the karmi and the gnani. The karmi has many desires. Gnani tries to get rid of desires, but desirelessness can be possible only when we desire to serve Krishna. Such a beautiful statement. Huh? Karmi has many desires. Gnani tries to get rid of all desires, but desirelessness can be possible only when we desire to serve Krishna. Otherwise, it's not possible to get rid of desires. Gnana karma dhyanavritam. As bhaktas, we should have no desires for gnana and karma. See, as bhaktas, means pure bhakta, Shuddha bhakta. We should be without attachment for material things. See, and again, I am not saying these words. Many times people say, what you mentioned, I didn't mention, I am not mentioning. Prabhupada is mentioning. Which means that Prabhupada wants us to be like this. If we want to please Prabhupada, we have to follow his instructions in the purport. Prabhupada is clearly saying that we should be without attachment for material things, but we must have attachment for Krishna. If suppose say we don't have this, what should we do? We should beg, we should pray for mercy. We should pray for Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Prabhupada, you are saying this, making this statement, I'm not able to live up to it. Please give me mercy. And Prabhupada, like, say grandfather is so uh, merciful, compassionate. He'll say, oh, poor thing, this devotee is struggling. Okay, let me give mercy. So very simple prayers, prayers, prayers. I keep saying this, don't forget prayers. Don't forget praying, right? Pray, beg for mercy. And mercy is available. It's like sunshine. It's always available. It's just that we don't want it. We're within, uh, inside a room and we are saying there's no sunshine inside the room. Of course, come to the sun, no? Come out of the room. Mm. So any difficulty we have in Krishna consciousness, but I observe one thing, with many devotees, a lot of challenges everybody has, but many of them think that it is in their hands to solve for it. It's they think I can't do it. I am not able to do it. So I keep saying that you're unfortunately stuck in false ego. Right, you're thinking that you're so powerful that you can't do it means so you're not thinking beyond yourself. You're not thinking about Krishna. A surrendered devotee looks at a difficult situation and says, yeah, very difficult. I'm fallen. I'm an insignificant soul, conditioned by the modes. So I'm not able to override my mind. I'm not able to override my false ego. I'm helpless. But I have the most powerful Lord with me. I'm the most merciful parampara, you know, behind me. So let me pray for them. Let me beg for their mercy. That's all. It'll automatically work. Mm. If anybody has any problems in Krishna consciousness and you want to get rid of it, simply try this prayer route, right? And how does it work? How does prayer work? How does a child get attention of his parents? What will the child do?
Cry.
Cry, cry. So we have to cry. So the more we cry, the more the mercy will flow. Of course, we are not like that crocodile tears, right? It should be real tears. It should be the real pain that we are, experiencing, saying, oh no, I'm not able to do this. I'm stuck with material attachments. I'm stuck with nonsense mobile phone. I'm stuck with nonsense anarthas. I'm stuck with asat sangha. Stuck with material desires. I'm stuck with kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. I'm stuck with all these. And I have no attachment to Krishna. Literally, we should have tears in our eyes. What a hopeless situation that is. Meaning, material world is already hopeless, right? Padam padam yadvipadam. At every step there is misery, there is danger. Still, we are not seeing it. Even though we have come in touch with Srila Prabhupada, we are not seeing it as much as we should. Hmm. Unfortunate. So when we are unfortunate, how will fortune come to us? By Guru, by Acharyas, by Krishna. When we cry for it, we have to cry for mercy. Yesterday I was talking to a devotee and devotee is saying that I have a lot of false ego, Prabhu. And I said, that's what has to be go. That's what has to go. Till we have false ego, we think that I, right? And once we come to the stage of helplessness, we say Krishna, Guru, Krishna, Guru, Krishna, Guru. There won't be I. I will be used more as a form of identity. So it was actually, very interesting in Sanskrit, all our Shastras. So, right, in English, there are two voices, active voice and passive voice. Can somebody explain what is active voice, what is passive voice? Simple, like high school grammar. What is active voice? What is passive voice? Anybody remembers high school grammar? Nobody.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we know
Prabhu.
true.
So
Yeah.
basically, I mean, if you refer to some activity, right? So let's say uh, Gopal is gardening,
Hmm.
and I mean that is active, and then gardening is being done by Gopal. I think that
Yeah.
is passive or something.
Yeah. And now what is the difference in both these sentences? What is the focus? What is the focus in when we say Gopal is gardening?
This is actively doing. We're addressing
No, so there are two things. There's Gopal, there's gardening. What is getting emphasis?
gardening.
No, when you say
Gopal,
Gopal
Gopal.
is gardening, we say Gopal is
Gopal.
emphasized, right? So when we say the gardening is being done by Gopal, who is doing it is not important.
Okay, okay.
Gardening is important. This is the difference between active and passive, right? And the English language and Sanskrit. What is the primary mode of expression in English? Which voice is used predominantly?
Active.
Active. Western civilization is about active voice. Okay, and Vedic civilization is about passive voice. In all of Sanskrit, when people write, it is always this work was done by me, which means me, I'm not important. Important thing was that the work was done by who is just a matter of information. Right? So our Vedic culture actually inherently taught people to get rid of false ego. And Western culture is steeped on false ego. It's all about I, it's all about me. Right?
Right, right.
Right? And we should understand this. We are born and brought up in a culture which is actually Vedic, but we've been so badly influenced by Western culture that it always ends up I. And see, I mean, huh? See, I mean, what is the see, I mean? Again, emphasis is on me. So we have so much of this false ego that it's unimaginable. It's unimaginable the amount of false ego we have. So instead of making it just an identity that, okay, I exist, that's all. That's about false ego, right? That is real ego, right? I exist. I'm a soul. I exist. That's all. But in each and every conversation, and this was something that I used to experience, right? When I was sitting in office and just saying, I think. And then Prabhupada says, what is the value of your thinking? And this thought used to come, oh, simply sitting here and wasting my time. Because every moment, this material world, when you're interacting, we are expected to say, I. So how will this false ego go? We are just nourishing that false ego every moment. Mm. So we should understand at least that is why, spiritual masters and senior devotees, they talk about we, considering that, I am not the doer, because just to remove that consciousness of I, right? Okay, so that multiple doers, right? There are 5 doers. So we should understand that this is very, very important to not be so much, we are like so steeped in false ego of our own capability, of our own ability to do things, achieve things, etc., that we tend to forget Krishna. And that is why we are stuck. We are stuck. Somebody says, no, I don't want to. I don't want to come out of this. I want to do nonsense work. I want to waste my time on mobile phone. I want to waste my time reading internet. I want to waste my time doing some nonsense, and we are making a choice. One is we are making a wrong choice, right? So, which is the first problem to deal with. The second problem to deal with is maybe we recognize that no, okay, I should stop this, you know, spending so much time on mobile phone. Now, when I say that, I'm saying this mobile phone because literally everybody is on the mobile phone, Um, so when I at least come to the stage saying that no, I want to give up this attachment to mobile phone, then I will try by myself. And when I try by myself, I don't succeed. Then I say I tried so much, but I'm not able to. But where is Krishna in the picture? Krishna was never there in the picture. So unless Krishna comes into the picture, we should realize that we are helpless, powerless entities. And when we come to the platform of begging, please remember this, begging, don't forget this. That is why helplessness is a great quality to have, helpless, feeling helpless is amazing. It just propel our Krishna consciousness. Provided we become helpless and dependent on Guru and Krishna. It's a great force. Okay, let me stop here. Anybody has anything to say? All clear?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. A question.
Yes, Mata. Yes, Mata.
One question, please.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, we keep talking about ego, false ego, this I and all. What is the difference between self-respect and self-ego, Prabhu?
No, in Vedic culture, there's no concept of self-respect. In Vedic culture, the
No,
concept
okay.
is I am nobody. I am a servant. I'm the servant of the Supreme Lord. That's all my identity is. Right? And self-respect is limited to me. Right? It's the Western culture. It's the Western culture. See, in our Varnashrama, it's very, very clear, right? A Brahmana is the most qualified, right? Everybody else says, I am nothing. I have to take guidance from Brahmana. Brahmana says, I am nothing. I have to take guidance from Sannyasi. Sannyasi says, I am nothing. I have to take guidance from Guru, or I have to take guidance from Krishna. Nobody thinks self. Everybody thinks I am useless. This is our Vedic culture, right? Where there is no importance given to us. It's always the importance is given to our superiors. If somebody praises us, we should say it's all Guru's mercy. And this cannot be lip service. This is actual reality, right? So this self-respect, that is why many of these concepts of modern world, right, are all Western. Actually, see, the helpless servant of Krishna, is the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, the devotee is the most famous person. Who is famous? Fame means one who is a great devotee is the most famous. And we see that. And you go and talk to those devotees, they have no self-respect. They have no self-respect. They say, who am I? I mean, why should anybody respect me? I'm fallen soul, they'll say. So in Vedic culture, there's no question of self-respect. It's always respect to superiors. Self, nothing.
Raghunath
So,
Babuji,
yes, Prabhuji. Prabhu.
can I ask one question connected to this only?
Okay, Prabhu. I'll try to answer.
My question I'll phrase, my question is this, some issue comes up with your close relation actually. Actually, you get insult, feel actually, as you said, there is no prestige or self-respect in Vedic culture, okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes feel like we are two equal age person and somebody tell his daughter or her daughter to just talk and speak and something, you feel insulted actually. A very close relation, and that gets you disturbed. And whenever they call, you get disturbed actually. Then you stop talking to them. Okay, leave it here. Mind becomes peaceful. Stop talking. So whether you will call this ego or what do you will call this?
Yeah. See, so this is I am answering with reference to a devotee's life, right? So for a devotee, when anything that happens, which actually, yeah, like insults us, right? Now, this word insult itself is actually based on false ego, right? As in the word in, there's nothing like insult because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying Trinadapi Sunichena, where is the question of insult? Amanina manadena. So when he says amanina manadena, that means that there's no question of insult. Somebody is not respecting me, doesn't matter. I should go and respect. This is the expectation, right? Our acharyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has put, saying that only in this state we can do Kirtaniya Sadahari. So when I, at least the way what I have learned in from my practice of Krishna consciousness is when somebody says something that is actually not fair, right? So we'll use this word fair, right? Which means that they're making a wrong statement or they're doing something which we don't deserve, right? Let's put it this way, right? But still, if it is happening, so I'll tell you an classic example. Yesterday we were out, we had gone to one Raghavendra Swami Mutt for book distribution. Okay, so we had put a table, not near the entrance at all, like quite some distance away. I mean, like just objectively looking at it, we were not doing anything wrong. We were not blocking the road. We were not obstructing any persons walking forth. We were not going and barging at them and attacking them with books. Nothing. We were just simply, because it was a very sattvic crowd, we simply put a bookstall some little place away. One Madhva Vaishnava, he was old person, aged person. So he came and he said, "You people don't come and do business everywhere. I've read all these books, right?" So like he was saying that there is no value in these books, right? Now, um, obviously because of multiple reasons, it was for me it was an insult more than anybody insulting me because he was talking about Prabhupada. But then I just simply for a moment thought saying that this is about Prabhupada's movement. This place is very fertile for us to bring souls into Krishna consciousness. So even though it was it was like you have done a mistake, why have you come here, kind of, I just said, I'm standing in front of Raghavendra Swami Mutt. So Raghavendra Swami wants me to accept this. So I just said, okay, I'm accepting this as a chastisement so that my false ego reduces. I didn't speak a word, right? And when we try to avoid these situations, that means that we want to preserve our false ego. We cannot come to Amanina Manadena state. Amanina Manadena is simply like somebody insults, go and speak. I follow this process right now. Actively I try to follow, which is I know that somebody behind me, right? Somebody else came and told me that this devotee spoke something like this about you. I will go to that person and I will speak. I will glorify that person. Same, I'm just saying because these are the things that I put into practice in my life. I glorified that person, saying that, Prabhu, please bless and pray for my preaching. Right? No, I mean, and my ego is fighting me inside, saying that, what is this? He's like factual stuff coming, saying that he's not even done whatever you've done. All this is coming inside me. But I said, no, shut up. Right? And I just said, no, Prabhu, you please bless and pray for me. So we cannot run away. If we run away, this will remain with us. It will always remain with us. We will never be able to come out of it. Right? So it's very important that we practice some of this, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that one single statement is the cornerstone of our bhakti. Is Trunadapi Sunichena. Tolerate every nonsense that happens to us. Devotee always thinks, right? A devotee's mood should be that if it is with respect to me, if somebody is telling something about me, then I should just tolerate. If somebody is telling something about Prabhupada, about pure devotees, about other devotees, we should we should fight. Of course, time, place, circumstance, all this needs to be seen. But when it comes to when it is about us, irrespective, we should just simply accept it. We should simply go through it as Krishna's mercy, because Krishna is putting me in this position. Why? Because if I have any kind of false ego, and then I can't go back to Krishna. I have to remain here. So it's Krishna is giving us mercy by actually putting us in those situations and letting us go through that. And when we become humbled, then path gets cleared. This is my understanding, Prabhu.
No, I'm understood, Prabhu. my further just little bit KNM is there.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, you forget that incident, okay. But every time you feel agitated when you get disturbed, somebody call you and like there is something or other thing it talk or she talks, that gets you disturbed. So it's better to forget incident and leave talk to them actually. Okay, just you happy yourself, we are happy ourselves. I might adding that one actually. Move away from that person actually.
Yeah, but Prabhu, the question we have to ask ourselves, saying that this why we are feeling that why am I now not wanting to talk to that person, right? Because of something that person spoke or did, right? Now that person might not be a devotee, right? So also this question will have to be answered from
Yeah,
two angles, right?
he is not devotee. They are
Yeah.
not devotee.
Yeah, so when they are not a devotee, then we are actually superior to them in the sense that we have to actually give them mercy, right? Devotees have to give mercy, right? That is what our role is, right? Now, if we are actually staying away from some person, that means we are depriving that person of possible mercy that he or she can get, right? Because we are putting ourselves in front of Guru and Krishna. Because for us, distributing mercy is now not as important as my own, whatever respect
Actually, it
or lack of.
does not to take much time. Actually, in this, that relation is as if Prabhu, another they have a bad relation with my another close relation. If I talk to them, then
Okay, okay.
so they talk that relation. So it
Okay,
will
okay.
become a slightly
Complicated.
disturbance actually. For that
Complicated.
person, actually
Okay, okay. ठीक है, bro.
So
You
no,
will know
no.
better.
Actually, I want to understand because spiritually I want to understand.
No,
Because
spiritually, yes, spiritually it's very clear, Prabhu. Spiritually, it's not as long as we are not bringing ourselves. See, we might do some of this for just simply managing certain situations, certain relations, right? But not if the feeling is about that I am feeling bad about it, then it's just on the platform of false ego, right? But if it is to manage something else, which is very sensitive, then it can be done. That can be just a diplomatic way of handling situation. But if in any of the situation we are feeling bad because and every time we just that incident comes back to us and we feel that thing happened, we might not express it, but it's there in the back of the mind. That means it's
guilty.
basically because of false ego.
But if it does, you does not remember that incident, it means there's no problem actually. Other way.
Yeah, then we should be able to talk to that person. No,
We should
because
talk
if
to them.
we should be
Okay.
able to know, because see, if that incident is forgotten,
Yeah.
it should forgotten means it should not be there in our system at all. It's not just we are not putting it to the back in the back,
Right.
right? It
I
should
understand.
be out of our system. Then we'll talk to them nicely,
I
right?
understood. I understood.
Yeah.
Just slight.
Sorry, Prabhu,
Small.
I'm not in a
No, no, no.
position to tell all this to you,
No,
but
no. 100% can you see because everybody has a limited knowledge. You see, you can we when we discuss only then only our minds open actually can certainly because last two 3 years my some issues was going on so because it was related to temple, then I felt something with relations, so it was my relation was there, I took some money from them and it became some issue, so so his daughter some tried to insult or something
okay.
that was issue was there, so I wanted to just but okay, just last point from there.
Yeah.
Suppose okay, no, I go ahead and talk to him or her. But
They might
if
again insult you. They might again insult you.
not a question insult me. Okay, I understood. I know insult or respect. I understood that point. But if they talk about third and my another relation, I can tell politely, please don't discuss with me. Can you, if you have any issue, you can talk to them only.
Yeah, correct. Because what are we, I mean, how can we influence somebody else's behavior or what they're saying or doing or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
and see, when they are talking about them, we should not feel personal about it because those other families close to us, we should not again feel personal about it and again develop, some kind of this. We should say, see, they are, I mean, their decisions, what they say, what they do, etc. It's up to them, right?
It is their relation. It is
Yeah,
their relation.
then it's between them, their karma phala they're exchanging. That's all. Why we have to be bothered? Of course, see, only thing is that's why Shastra says that when there is blasphemy of devotees, then we should not tolerate, right? We should speak. right? But this is all mundane material relations. Yeah, like you said, we can engage as much as possible so that it just doesn't create more problem situation to deal with. But which is unnecessary politics and this and that. We don't have to get stuck, right? So we can just politely say that no, हमें क्या पता, आप उनसे ही बात कर लीजिए directly, right? We are nowhere in the picture here.
Right, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, see, this is something that I want to learn. Prabhu and Mataji, they are so humble that they're not even thinking that they're in a discussion forum, and I'm praying that I can come to this level of humility where I don't show that I'm something else, and that being something else. Really, please bless Prabhu and Mataji that we can
Prabhuji,
actually
you
come
please
to
bless us. We've and I'm listening to. Please bless us, Prabhu. We are not even got out of this respect and ego and
Actually,
thinking of old
respect. I
situation.
does not feel much kind of respect or something. She has a slightly kind of respect, and she is slightly, if they talk, she feels I'm getting insulted. Okay, anyway, that is a difficult thing to come out. I does not much feel okay insult or respect. But one this incident has stuck to me from last 2-3 years. Because
Okay.
I felt he cheated in the temple also. Why you can do like this, that? So something was going on. So I said, incident happened. I said, okay, from nowadays, we disconnect our talk. I won't talk to you. Can you please don't call me? He tried to call me. I didn't pick up the phone. That's all.
Yeah,
So
bro, but if he has cheated the temple, then it's a different thing altogether. Then it's not
no,
personal.
not a question directly cheating. Suppose he asked me, you give me this much interest, then later on he
Oh, okay.
increase the interest or something like that way. That way is like slightly I can
Greediness.
say
Okay,
greediness, not
Okay,
a cheating actually.
okay, okay,
Greediness actually.
okay,
So
okay.
anyway, that was small amount though. Brackle settled it. He said, probably you please come out, let me settle this issue actually, because
Okay,
it's your relation. You don't be interfere actually.
okay, ठीक है, bro. Okay.
Sorry, Prabhu. Like I do feel insulted, and especially in the family, like I don't let go. Outside, I couldn't be bothered. Any devotee, any friends, anything, and I really get very sensitive about it. I'll try working, Prabhu. I'll try
Okay,
working.
okay.
Maybe in the next class, I'll be a better student.
No,
Sorry.
no, Mataji. No, we
Sorry.
have our own. We all have our karmic baggage, right? But we should always remember that Krishna is very powerful, right? Guru and Krishna, they're very, very powerful. They can do anything to help us out. They are ready to do anything to help us out, right? And provided we ask for it, we have to cry for it, right? But if you want to retain it, then like I said, even Krishna will not help. If somebody wants to retain their false ego, even Krishna will not help because it's our free will. This is something that we have to realize that if I don't want it, if Shastra says that a devotee should not have this quality, then we should simply nothing, no logic, nothing. We should just that moment we should say, okay, I don't want this. I don't want this quality, right? Because it's not for devotees. No, and immediately we go into this phase of thinking, oh, but it is very difficult for me, which is again false ego, right? Because again, I'm limited to my own self, right? I'm thinking of me and my problem, but I'm not thinking about Krishna at all. If I think about Krishna, once I read one, I was telling this to somebody else yesterday. I read one quotation. Prabhupada is saying that you have a problem. Remember that you have a bigger God, right? So we might be stuck in any kind of, anarthas, situations, etc., etc. We should never forget that I have a very big God with me. I have Krishna with me. When I have Krishna with me, what is impossible? There's nothing that is impossible, right? So, but when we remain limited to thinking, oh, this problem I've been, I've been fighting myself. I've been fighting two anarthas, right? One, I will openly say, one anartha is my anger, right? And I've been working on this for like over a year now. Yeah, some reduction, but every time I end up, and this anger is not towards because of devotional thing. It's like some mundane right and wrong, anger because of right and wrong. somebody did something wrong, and it's all based on Shastra only. But just that anger is not the way to deal with it. And I've been fighting it. And then I failed. I failed miserably multiple times. Then I realized saying that, oh, why am I trying to solve this by myself? Then I just started begging every day before my chanting, every day in my prayers, I'm praying, Krishna, I want to become humble. I don't want this anger. It just shows my false ego. And why does anger come? Dhyayato vishan pumsan, attachment. Then I said, I don't want to be attached to these things. It is not going to help me to make progress. And praying and crying and praying and praying and praying. And today, after a year, I'm seeing that, yes, I'm so stubborn, idiot, that it has definitely reduced. But if I'd let myself go and completely surrendered, fully, wholly, and solely to Krishna, possibly it would have just gone much earlier. So we should come out of this stage of thinking, I will solve this problem for myself. Right? Always the thought should be, Krishna will give mercy, and because of that mercy, this problem will get solved. I know, I am confident, not because of me, because of Krishna. Right? And then no obstacle will stand in front of us. No obstacle can stand. What can stand in front of Krishna? Krishna doesn't life. In devotees' life, we are faced with problems just because Krishna wants us to go through these problems and learn and come to the pure platform. That's the only reason that there are obstacles in our life. There's no other reason. It's not that it's not possible for him to remove it. He's letting it be for a reason. That's all. But when we recognize that, okay, I don't want this, we have to simply fall at the lotus feet of Krishna and just hold on to it. That's all. And forget that I can do it, I cannot do it business. And just say Krishna can do it. That's all. Full stop.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sorry to whole class.
No, Prabhuji.
No. It's my duty. I've taken a lot of time on a personal discussion, actually. And whole class, I think 2-3 devotees left also group.
No, वो तो 9:30 हो गया ना प्रभु, कोई सुबह इतना टाइम नहीं रहता.
Yeah, I had taken a half an hour extra, actually. I'm sorry to everybody.
Prabhu, no. Prabhu, it was important discussion. You are just humble enough to bring it up.
No, Prabhuji, we are thankful to you. You raise up such questions. You and Mataji, we have lot to learn from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Prabhu, I took time.
No, Mataji. Please don't say sorry. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyashta kripasindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. After Prabhu and Mataji have come, our classes have become more engaging. Otherwise, it used to be monologue. So we'll thank them again tomorrow when they join. Hare Krishna.